Did you know that in a distant past, stars descended from the sky and walked among men? What would happen if angels, beings made of pure light and power, fell in love with the women of earth? What kind of children would be born from such forbidden union? They would be giants with strength beyond human comprehension. But what if this union led to chaos, to the destruction of an entire world? Prepare to uncover one of the greatest mysteries of the Bible, the Nephilim, the children of fallen angels, beings who walked among us and changed the course of history forever. Before discussing the Nephilim, it's essential to understand the origin of the tragedy that led to the creation of these giants. In the early days of humanity, when the world was still new and earth was in its pure state, the children of God, the angels, were tasked with caring for creation. They were immortal, pure beings possessing incomparable power. Their mission was to watch over and guide humans, transmitting divine wisdom and helping humanity prosper. However, over time, some of these angels, known as the Watchers, began to feel a forbidden desire. The beauty of the daughters of men attracted their hearts, something that shouldn't have happened. They were observing humanity, and as time passed, the desire for these women became increasingly irresistible. Pride took hold of some of these celestial beings. They began to question the purpose God had given them and, in an act of disobedience, decided to descend to earth and take human wives to themselves. This transgression was not just a rebellion against divine order, but violation of the boundaries between the celestial and the mortal. These fallen angels were not beings made to inhabit earth, but to live in the heavens in their purity and light. By descending, they corrupted themselves, mixing the sacred with the profane. These watchers were called fallen angels, beings who stopped following the divine will and chose their own desires. The sin of their disobedience was irreversible. By uniting with human women, these fallen angels spawned a unique and feared lineage, the Nephilim. These children were not simply human beings. They were giants with enormous strength, brilliant minds, and supernatural abilities. In the book of Genesis, we are presented with a brief description of these events. When mankind began to multiply on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. Genesis 6 verse 2. These Nephilim were not only physically gigantic, but also possessed extraordinary knowledge learned from their celestial fathers. They mastered the arts of war, metallurgy, astrology, and even the occult arts. They taught humans the secrets of the heavens and the ways of destruction. The Book of Enoch, an apocryphal text that gives us more details about this story, describes how the Watchers taught humans how to forge swords, control the elements, and even practice magic. But not only that, they also showed humans how to explore what should have been forbidden, the power of evil. However, with great power came corruption. The Nephilim, being the children of the Watchers, were creatures of immense power, but also corrupted by the nature of their parents. They were not like humans. Their presence was a constant reminder of the violation of the heavens. Their ego and actions became increasingly violent, with some accounts stating that they began to dominate human tribes, enslaving them, spreading war, violence, and chaos. Earth, once a place of beauty and harmony, became a battlefield and a place of suffering, with an Nephilim at the center of the chaos. As evil and corruption spread across the earth, humanity was corrupted by the presence of Nephilim. The world seemed to be on the brink of total destruction, with violence and sin dominating every aspect of life. God, who had created the earth and humans, saw that evil was taking over creation, and action was necessary. It was at this moment that the great flood occurred. The story of Noah and the ark is often seen as a direct response to the sin and transgression of the Watchers and their children. God, in his wrath, decided that the only way to purify the earth and eliminate wickedness was to send the waters of the flood to destroy all life. However, the Watchers and the Nephilim would not be destroyed in the same way as humans. According to the book of Enoch, God commanded that the Watchers be imprisoned and cast into dark depths, where they would remain until the day of final judgment. They would not be forgiven, for they had irreversibly corrupted the divine order. As for the Nephilim, some believe that they were submerged in the waters of the flood, while others suggest that their lineages were cut short, but that their echoes remain in the world through legends and myths of giants. Although the flood exterminated most of the Nephilim, their legacy was not completely erased. Legends of giants that emerged in various cultures around the world, such as the giants of Greek mythology or the Jotuns of Norse mythology, may have roots in the Nephilim who, in some way, survived the destruction. Furthermore, many believe that the descendants of Nephilim may still be among us, hidden and manipulating world events from the shadows. Their lineages may have infiltrated royal or powerful families, influencing the course of history. The enigma of the Nephilim isn't just a lost chapter of the Bible. It constantly resurfaces in the legends of giants and beings of immeasurable power that traverse time and cultures. But the question that still echoes through the centuries is, where are the Nephilim today? Could the lineages of the Nephilim still be among us, disguised in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to return? Or was their history truly erased by the flood, with no chance of resurgence? There are theories that some descendants of Nephilim still influence the destinies of great civilizations, hidden in secret societies or among the world's most powerful families. Some say that the giants were not completely eradicated, that their marks remain imprinted in cultures, symbols, and even in certain supernatural powers that some still try to control. In any case, the story of the Nephilim leaves us with an unsettling lesson. We cannot trust appearances. The giants, with their power, wisdom, and beauty, represent the danger and corruption that comes from a divine source, but which mixes with human desire. Their lineage, marked by a profound violation of the order of the universe, was forever etched into human history. And if their past was never truly resolved, who knows what the future still holds? Who knows, at some point the Nephilim, or something very similar to them, might return and usher in a new era of chaos and power. The question lingers in the air. The legacy of the Nephilim is immense and mysterious. Their story makes us reflect on the limits between the divine and the human, good and evil, an eternal struggle against the corruption of power. Even if they were destroyed by the flood, their presence is still alive in legends, myths, and perhaps even in the shadows of society. But the question remains, have the Nephilim truly gone, or are they just waiting for the right moment to return? This is the kind of story that never dies. It transforms, adapts, and reinvents itself, always ready to make an impact. And if you're as fascinated as I am by this dark and mysterious story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That's the only way you'll continue to uncover the hidden truths in the pages of history, explore ancient legends, and unravel humanity's deepest mysteries. Subscribe, activate notifications, and come explore more incredible and impactful stories with us. The mystery never ends. It only begins.